but I recorded it there, and then then they brought me in, and I did an MP3 audition, and then they brought me in for, I think, a callback. And yeah, you give different ideas of the voice. I think I had 4 or 5 different takes of kind of thorax, and then they went, this is the take we like, this kind of flavor of voice. And then got the part after I went into the studio and just read for the team there. That was my process.
So Kyle,
yeah.
when you did take 1, did you do take 1, and I'm making this up, did you make take 1 younger sounding? Did you do take 2 and maybe use an accent? Did you do take 3 and make it faster?
I'm trying to think of what take 1, take 1 was like, he was really nervous and scared, and then they're all gonna sound like thorax. They were different versions, but then, I'm trying to remember the other version.
So it wasn't like talking like this?
No, they're all the same flavor, but they had, maybe one was like slightly like set back in the voice or something. Yeah, and then they went with the one that was more like this. Yeah, I can't remember. But you kind of do the different variations of the character. One's more stuttery, one is more, really nervous and really scared, so that they can hear all these different sounds, of how the character could go. Yeah. That's how you do it.
Darling, go next. Let's hear the journey of this movie.
So I did the same thing. I had I'm just going to go fast, but I did Sable Spirit, who was the Wicked, if you guys remember her in season 7. She was the queen who was ugly and had taken all the beauty from Equestria, with kind of an Asian feel to it. It was beautiful. The art in it was phenomenal. Then I auditioned for Madge Meadowbrook, and I auditioned for Mistmane. Mistmane was two-faceted because she was young, the most beautiful pony, the most magical pony ever, and she then had to become this old, ugly, decrepit pony because she gave away all her beauty so that everybody else, as you know the legend, everybody else became beautiful, including Sable Spirit, who was so ugly. She was so jealous of everything. She had become ugly. So I had to do 2 voices for her, and then I got a call back, and then I went in, and Terry was like, you're doing Mistmane. But from that audition, he also gave me 2 changelings into Changeling. So you never know. You might be auditioning for one thing you think you're doing, but they'll hear something in all the different takes. Oh, you could do that voice. Like, is it sort of a changeling voice or whatever? So it depends if it's wicked or if it's sweet or if it's beautiful.
Because you can tell that I don't have the sweet, cute voice.
I had a neat experience because when they introduced the Student 6, they actually put an all call out for all of them except Sandbar. So I read for all of the students sort of one after the other. And then they did a big round of callbacks, but it was neat to kind of eventually be cast because I had already spent time thinking about each of those characters individually and thinking about what they want and what they like and what they might sound like and what they might look like. So when it all kind of got cast, it was neat to have that connection already. But just to go back really quickly to your question about the favorite episode, I have to say it was Silverstream's first episode of season 8. Because of that reason, all these characters were so new, and I think Ashley Ball joked about, it's the first day of school, and it really felt like the first day of school because we were all so nervous and so new, and a lot of the Student 6, the actors behind their voices are first-timers. So I share that simply because I think everyone did take their turn at trying out all the students, seeing what would be just the perfect fit. So that's how I came to be Silverstream.
Do y'all know how Zecora came to be in Matilda? I've also voiced Matilda. Do y'all know that story? No? I think a couple may. Well, the original call for Zecora, they asked for her to be Cajun. Now, who here can do a Cajun accent? Okay, one. Anybody else? Honestly.
I ain't even trying.
Okay, well, when I went to the audition, and you know what, later on you can give me your version, I'd be very, actually you should just come on up and let's hear it. just give us your name.
Jennifer.
Jennifer, nice to meet you, Jennifer.
You too.
Okay, so let's see. Just say something like maybe, what's the line she could say?
Friendship is magic, man!
Okay, thank you. All right. So that sounded a little Caribbean, Jamaican, of which I'm half Jamaican and half Trinidadian. And Cajun, I think they wanted a little bit more French and Creole and whatnot. So the girls, when I went to the audition for my character, were all French speakers, and some could actually do a Cajun Creole kind of thing. And I was about fourth to come in to audition and listen to them speak. They're talking like this and saying, and I'm going, oh, why are they calling for this? I have no idea how I'm going to do that. So I went in and gave some rendition of a Cajun accent, and it was, I don't know what it was. But then Terry just said, okay, give that to me again, and can you maybe give me maybe a Caribbean? I went, yes, I can. Because you're standing in the audition and you're going, I think I'm just tanking. I can't tell from what they were thinking, so bam. I went, right. So I give them something like this, and I talk like this in the audition, so I'm going way too quickly for them, and I said, that's a bit quick and thick. I didn't quite understand what you said. So I pulled it back a bit, and then they said, okay, we like that. Can you give us something from Africa, maybe? And I'm going, Africa. South Africa, North Africa, West Africa, East Africa. Okay, my hairdresser, where is she from? Emma Guru, Clara. Okay. So Clara talks a little bit something like this, right? She says, So I went, I'm going to use a bit of that with a little bit of the West Indian, and I married the two together, and that is how Zipporah came to be. Figure that out on the spot, that was like,
I'm sweating.
and it's hard not to, because you can do no wrong in an audition. You really can't. If you give, but you're our special, wonderful talent. So I'm not even going to say challenge. I'll say talent, because that's good. Go big or go home, right? Yeah. So you try not to tighten up. And with Matilda, that was just a quick audition in between while we were voicing to go and find, Doodle, and find that character and find where she would sing. So that's the journey.
There's a question. Oh, there's one over here. Hang on, Lou. Come over to you.
Hi there. So I was learning from another convention about the process of voice acting and what they do on a daily basis. And I was learning one process I was learning about warm-ups. I was curious for your own amusement, did you ever walk into work and just, as a warm-up, just start speaking the voice just to throw people off or mess with them a little bit?
I mean, for me, to get into the voice, I always have like one word. And people laugh at me sometimes in the room, because sometimes it's me saying my own character's name. Like for this Minecraft series, it was like Durango. And I had to mean like, Durango. Like, we know who you are playing for. You're Durango. Vinny, it would always be, for Littlest Pet Shop, it would be like, it would always have to be an I'd be like, okay, right, there we go. Yeah, so. Anyone else have anything?
I have my audition on my phone, on my, like in my computer still, so I sometimes play it back, because sometimes weeks go by in between recordings, and not that it will ever leave, but it's not as there, so I'll listen to it and kind of talk back to it and have a little conversation with myself, and then, but ultimately, I mean, I'm sure we can all agree, you do just have to do a good vocal warm-up, like to get your voice ready, so I find singing and sort of burbling and babbling to myself very helpful.
And another thing is, forget about it. If you've done like an 8-hour day of recording, and sometimes in gaming records, you're really blowing your vocal cords to another level, because there's so many efforts of like crazy stuff all day long, and you've got to give 97 ways of dying. knifed, cannonballed, gun, you want to die. So you're tired at the end of the day, but then you've got to record a cute little high voice because, you know, I said I can't do those. But so you've got to really, I think that you've got to lubricate, which, that doesn't sound right. Children, you know what I'm saying. But you've got to keep this, like, it dries out. And talking about, I think you just said, so you've got to remember, I've got it on my phone too, but I just got this new Cartoon Network show that I'm under NDA, but I auditioned for it over a year ago. I was contacted from Los Angeles about a month ago saying you have a callback. And I said to Paul, my Toronto agent, I said, for what? And he said, the show I can't say right now. But, who are you going to tell? Samson at work. But, so I went, I didn't have it anymore. I got rid of it. I just thought it wasn't happening, right? I found out that I auditioned for every single character because they said pick 4 characters. I didn't pick 4. I did the men, the women, the children, because I got, oh, it's for Los Angeles. They'll never hire me. It's Cartoon Network. I'm Canadian, blah, blah, blah. They only take. I was cast as a 55-year-old male man, none of the women, and he's a bug in a suit and a tie. And I went, can you play me the reference? Because I was goofing around, like I was just being stupid when I auditioned. I never thought I'd get. Are you kidding me? So, like I'm saying, you never know. I thought I'd at least get maybe a woman's part. Thank you so much. But no, 55-year-old man, and they have to play you the reference for it, and I listened to him and I don't even know if I can do that. Was I drunk when I auditioned? I couldn't believe it because it was so low. It was at the end of the day when I auditioned for it, but you never know. So I've got to record for it on, like, and he's sort of, those hot dogs are coming. Like he's like that. So I'm going to have to scream my head out Sunday night at the pizza place here so I can, because I'm recording it on Monday. So, just so that everybody, get me screaming on Sunday.
Okay, everything everybody said, and then the fact that, yes, sometimes we do need to warm up. I know I do sound, you're cracking me up. But it's true, right? You do sometimes go in and you forget what you did, and then they'll usually have a reference for you, which is very helpful. But I sound completely different first thing in the morning. To come in, and most of our sessions, well, I shouldn't say most, but 90%, yes, are first thing in the morning. So that would be an 8:30, 9 o'clock start. Sometimes we have to sing. Sometimes it's just straight dialogue. And yeah, if you want to be able to hit some of those high notes, it's really hard to come in if you're vocally tired or you haven't warmed up and you just have to look at your voice, your vocals, as along with a straight line continuum, right? Sometimes you have to hit way up here, sometimes you have to hit way down here. And if you aren't warmed up, to try and scream on that note and go, oh, hey, oh! Going again, it's hard to get there if you and you'll be thrashed by, 1 o'clock. And then next thing you know, you either have to go to the next show to work on, or you have to go to an audition, so, yeah. It takes a lot of vocal energy for it.
I guess this question is for everybody else, but Brenda, since many of you came in later, did you know what you were going to get into when you came into the role with, like, the fandom, that your character was going to be reoccurring?
Did I know that Sakura was going to be recurring? I think they might have had a note on there, but it's hard for me to remember on my audition sheet if it actually said recurring. I knew I was in one of the episodes, and then I think they continued to bring her back and write more. It might have been said on there that she was definitely recurring, as she's the sort of guru shaman for the ponies. And did I know what I was getting myself into? Well, I've always done voice work. I've known more for film and television because when a bunch of us here graduated from Studio 58 theater arts, and film and TV, when I graduated, was just getting started here. So the voiceover world is completely separate from film and television. The actors kind of go between both worlds, but it's a different process altogether. And what happens in the room is completely different than what happens on a film set. So being a part of a show, and then, as I said, getting to know how everyone works and improvs, and the learning curve with everybody's gifts and talents in the room is straight up. It's different every time. And the challenges that they have to go through to achieve what the producers would like for their character. So I didn't know what I was getting myself into. No, it was very cool. And what have I learned? I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Any other questions?
Oh, it's coming. No.
Right up here.
Hello, everyone. I do presentations at these conventions on like kind of how the show has inspired people and kind of fusion of how it teaches all these lessons and you can learn real social science stuff through it. And one question I like to ask at most conventions when I get to interact with people from the show is, what has changed for yourself, or have you learned from either doing the show or coming to conventions? What has inspired you or changed you from your experience with My Little Pony?
You guys. You guys. Like, it's the fandom when you record, you have no idea because you're with the actors and you're in a fishbowl. You have no sense of the world. You have no sense of your audience. You have no sense of bronies or the fandom or anyone. And when you start meeting you people, you ponies, things really change. It escalates to a whole other level. I'd be interested to see how you feel, this being your first convention. This is 5 or 6 for me, and I've got a whole bunch more coming up because that's all I want to do. I'm like, I want to go for free. I just don't even care. I just want to be around the fandom because you're my people. You're my ponies. Like, you are everything that I think our world needs right now. We're in such a dark place with what's going on the planet, and in a lot of ways, and somehow this fandom is just a bright spot. It is a rainbow. It is magic. It is all the things that the show escalates as a story, but then you meet people who support it, the ponies who support it, every soul that is connected, and you go, wow, there's something really special going on here, guys. Really special. I don't see it in any other show, and I'm doing 6 series right now. I go to only these conventions. I don't go to any conventions for anything else, and you're magic. You're fabulous. So that's what changed for me. I went, there's a world of my ponies, my people out there that are actually making the world a better place. Thank you so much.
That almost just stands alone. We could all just leave it there. I could add one little thing to it, and it's yes, it's you, it's your stories, and it's what you do. We voice. Some of you are doctors, lawyers. I met some physicists. I met scientists when I was in Dallas and Houston who work with NASA, right? I met smart people. We talked, right? I met friends who come back, and it's like, okay, I had real trouble when I was doing algebra. Right. My dad's a biology teacher. Right. My mom's a nurse. Right. Okay. But do you know what I'm saying? It's that respect and the fact that everyone is so gracious. And I always try to keep that as my own motto, which is to always endeavor to come from a place of grace, integrity, and respect. Because that way you can speak the truth and make no apology. So in sharing, there's always sharing back and forth. And everyone has a story. Everyone comes from someone. Everyone has a talent. We just happen to be a little more out there and visual. But don't deny what it is that you have. You all have gifts.
I learned how to change my body into other shapes.
Show us!
Show us!
No, it's not something I could just, I gotta really work at it. It was, before the series I couldn't change my body. I could only be me. But now, I can change it.
I want to see it.
Amazing. The experience of actually doing Pony has taught me just what I can do. It really illuminates a sense of possibility and creativity. And those are the two words that keep coming to my mind when I look out and see everybody and all this beautiful creativity. Look at this craftswomanship, this craftsmanship. Like, my parents are here right now, and they taught me all those skills too, you know, like how to sew and how to, you know, use a glue gun, pick out the right wig. So I got a good crash course on that. So I feel very at home with all of your creativity and all of the beauty and the meticulousness and the specificity. I see it and I appreciate it. And I'm like kind of addicted. So I'm really, that's what I've taken away so far, just being immersed in it for the first time. I just feel very, you know, at home with all that glittery magic. So keep doing it, please, because I'm loving it.
Yay. Question right here? Yeah?
Hold your mic up, babe.
Hold your mic to your mouth.
There we go. There you go. Sorry about that. Okay, so I have a question. I actually love to ask this question to voice actors. So it is, if you were able to play any Shakespeare character, what Shakespeare character would you play?
What Shakespeare character would we play? Well, I will tell you which one, because I did a lot of Shakespeare at a place in Vancouver called Bard on the Beach, and my favorite character that I did play was Puck in Midsummer Night's Dream. I love that character. Yeah, what about you?
I was going to say Puck. Oh, you know what? I'd say Puck too. But you know who else I played a lot of Shakespeare characters, but who I really loved was Viola, because Viola cross-dressed to sort of survive a situation that got embroiled in. So it was fun to play the masculine part of the feminine, so you've got the yin and the yang, and so that was fun. But there's so many queens, and the Queen of the Fairies would be just another great one. You should all do it.
Okay, well, I was most inspired by the Zeffirelli version of Romeo and Juliet, and I wanted to be Juliet so badly. But at that time, we just weren't doing that kind of casting, right? And now, just because I'm way too old to play Juliet, it's a double whammy. I would probably be the nurse. She's hilarious. So if you ever get a chance to watch her character, she's the through line in the piece that's really has the truth. She sees all the, you know, she covers things and whoo. So yeah, probably be the nurse.
I would love to play Imogen from Cymbeline. I love those speeches, and I think she's got such guts and integrity and bite, all of it, big whole package. And I think actually Feste from 12th Night would be super fun. I love the poetic kind of jingle jangle about it, and I've seen it done many different ways, and I just wonder maybe what I could add to the mix.
Our Feste was bald and painted like a Buto dancer. All
I can do that.
body makeup.
I can
Other questions? There's time to go right here.
All right. So I think that the most important part of My Little Pony is that you had to be on set for like the entire time. That when you're playing a character, what are those things you do when you're not in the mood? Like what are those tricks?
Like what? How do you, when we're recording, what if we don't feel it in our voices? What are the tricks to make it come alive?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Interesting. You want to have an impulse right away? Yeah, or to get in the mood, I think was the question.
29 cups of coffee. And all you do is you live off the love that's in the room, because you're generally working with a team of phenomenal talent that just, they breathe love into the microphone, and it actually inspires you to keep going. Like, it actually makes you laugh. People make you laugh in the studio, and you celebrate. When you're singing and you're telling stories, it gives you energy. Rather than taking it away from you, it gives you the energy, and you just keep pouring it out.
And it's also part of our job. We have to just put that which is not going great in your personal life at that moment, put it over there, take your breath, find your focus, here we go, and so it's as simple as that. And then you kind of go afterwards, oh, I gotta find my cat, or I gotta phone so-and-so, or somebody passed away, and have your moment outside. Because this is the time that's allotted, and it's part of our job in order to be known as professional, is to have that commitment and that dedication to the task at hand and see the job through.
Just really quickly, I think the importance of folks who have more experience helping newer, less experienced helping others, because there are moments, even when the moments that are meant to be outside maybe creep in a little bit. And I remember recording an episode, I kept getting all these directions and I didn't know what to do, it's still so new. And Shannon Chan Kent took me aside and said, you're meant to be here, you're good at this, take a breath. Everyone wants you to succeed, and was really there for me. And Shannon is a good friend of mine, but all across the board, everybody is so gracious and giving and helpful, and I find that creates a certain energy and environment that makes it easier to be free and to explore what you need to explore.
Now, are you sure you're like brand new and you haven't just started? Like, what is it? Little wise soul, this little jewel, this little nugget. Like, my goodness, you're so articulate. She's beautiful too. Like, holy smokes.
Hi there. I know for Kyle it's probably this, but what's your favorite thing you've ever had to sign?
Well, that's it right there. Look at that. Oh, over here. Yeah, that was pretty surprising to see a giant Thorax body pillow. Yeah, that's good.
Raz, you didn't say what's the weirdest thing you've ever had to sign up. I was just getting body parts. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Body parts right here. Somebody's, they had a tattoo of their cutie mark on their bum, and they asked, literally, this is in Manchester, oh yeah, would I sign by the cutie mark? And he was in cosplay too, so he had to take the cosplay, lift up his cheek thing, where his cutie mark was on his bum, and I signed his bum. It was really a pony rump, but you know.
But I gotta say, go on with your bad self. Good for you, girl. Good for you.
You know I've signed lots of things. I'm not saying.
And some of the, I know, me too. But you know what I will say though? Some of the best things are those that we've auctioned off that might just have like a little something, and it's gone for charity. Yes. And it raised like tons. I will give whoever. And by the way, y'all better make sure you come to that charity auction. That is why we're all here. Let us also remember that too. Portion of what we do here will go to the Diabetic Association there for Type 1. So I'm always happy to do a little signature for something, but definitely in a few of the cons, there's been a few odd little things we've signed, and it's really brought some good coin for a good cause. But she says, my bum sign didn't get anything. We'll have to have a little chat. Yeah, could have auctioned off a half of, well, I will not go there.
Going on this Sunday.
Besides your own characters that you play, what would be your favorite character in the series?
Favorite character in the series?
That's not fair.
Rainbow Dash. Is that an easy one?
Oh, that's so easy. Rarity, right? Or Derby, or Lulu.
I feel an affinity for Pinkie Pie. I feel very close to Pinkie Pie. And Yona. I love Yona so much. I love Yona.
I'll say the same, Fluttershy. Fluttershy. You know, I think we all have a little bit of both in all of us. Sometimes we have that moment where we're just a little, behind the scenes, but we do have to go forth and come forward. And then there's other times where there's a little bit of crazy in me, which isn't always necessarily to do with caffeine or sugar. It's just comes out. And yeah, sometimes I talk like that. I'm like, woo.
Hello. Hi, over here.
Put your hands up. Oh, there.
What is your opinion for pineapple on pizza?
What was the question?
Pineapple on pizza.
I love it.
I grew up with pineapple on pizza, and my kids love it. So, and I have eaten it many times.
Is there like an argument, a strong argument against pineapple on pizza? We're talking about ham on there too, right?
Okay, we'll do a poll, because I'm seeing there's a few people who likes ham on, or pineapple on pizza?
Oh, see, no argument. Who doesn't like pineapple on pizza? You guys go ahead and head out.
Who doesn't care and is a fence sitter? I said, who doesn't care and is a fence sitter? You'll just gotta eat it if it's there.
Is it anything eating pizza?
If it's free, I'll eat it.
Now, why did this come up?
Love that question.
It's a really, really good question.
Fired up.
That was a really good question.
So could each of you do your impression of any other character in the movie? Just say which character you're going to do and go ahead and do your impression of that.
But it would be, you're not going to judge and say, like, oh my God. Because we obviously had an audition. How did an audition talk like this, right? Now, who do you think talks like this? That's Ashley. That's Ashley.
Raven's Dash. No, that's not really it.
Oh, I'm Thorax. Miss me. Okay, Miss me. Well, she showed it, like, what's your name? I just got that. You lost your head.
You sound like Brenda Smith.
I didn't know Brenda Smith. See, it all runs together after a while. Bring Jack here!
Or, I wonder if I can do flip.
I wonder if I can do Fluttershy. Applejack! I'm Applejack. Okay, this one requires like a moment, okay? Yup.
That was me too. I was going to go for him.
Sorry. All right. Your favorite show that you have voice acted in real life, or otherwise? It could even be like TV commercials or anything, if you've done that. Favorite show, TV commercial, anything that you've worked on that appeared on TV, radio, or wherever media appears.
I had such a good time doing Littlest Pet Shop. The first version, with the all the pals from on this show, Peter New and Shannon and Ashley, and it was because it was a lot of fun doing the show, but it was also because of that group of people. That was my favorite. Yeah.
Oh, that's such a hard one because I love all the shows, but Redwall, yeah, that was, Redwall, Roly Poly Oly. I was Benita Baxter, who was the square-headed kid's mom. Do you guys read? So he was like the little square head when everybody else had round heads. Like such a great show. It won so many awards. And for a commercial, I played the Nicorette monster for 5 years. You know that little green monster? Do you guys remember that little monster?
I'm back, miss me?
No, thanks to Nicorette.
Nicorette with its taste, you'll be needing this.
Actually, Nicorette's changed. It tastes great.
Great! Give me that. Suddenly I don't feel so good. Nicorette, help crush your...
5 years. You know that little green monster? Do you guys remember that little monster?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, favorite shows. Well, we'll get on one sometime together at the same time, right? Kyle and I are on Ready, Jet, Go. So that's fun. That's PBS. Dino Trucks. I played a character on there called, what was I? Drop Top. No. Drop Top. Okay. Okay, I would forget my character because she hadn't come back in a while. But that was fun. Do you want me to give you some favorite ones that are film and TV?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Now, this might make me sound like an ancient piece of petrified wood because this is going back a ways. But if you look for me in Outer Limits, yeah, there's an episode called Stasis, I believe. And when you watch that show, my character had this speech which everybody here can appreciate in terms of the amount of dialogue that I had to learn. And because this is film and TV now, there's no script in front of you at all. You had to have this memorized. And different from voice, film and TV will either go right through a whole take for a master shot, or they'll break it down and stop, and then they'll move cameras so you only go through half. In this instance, this particular director wanted me to go through the whole thing. But I happened to love the character. I loved this role. She was strong. She was fighting for, not having the characters taken out of stasis, or you'll have to watch the episode now, but I was fighting for something that I truly believed in against the evil ones. And I had to get through this piece from start to finish. I had 100 background performers to the right of me, 100 background performers to the left of me. And the camera is probably way down this side. And I had to take that speech from the start to the end. And it was one of the biggest challenges, but the greatest joy is to get it out, and then to find the part, which you guys will know from when you're acting, to find that part in the speech where you have to find that build, and bring it with everything you've got, and keep that focus in whatever you do, not let your mind and your mouth, which want to do two different things sometimes, get ahead of you and make your point with all that passion and whatnot. And I did it. And you can catch it, and you'll see that particular speech on that episode.
I implore you to put a hold on those plans. The reality is, if we do not renounce our privileges, they will be forcibly taken from us. Look around you. Stasis jumping is on the rise. The resistance is growing every day.
Most workers understand that the Stasis Initiative and the conservation that it's brought is the only thing that staved off complete annihilation.
This is not about conservation anymore. Why go forward with something as drastic and morally reprehensible as the relocation? We should be moving towards abolishing stasis altogether. That's treason.
It's just one, there's lots for different reasons, but that's one that just sits in there as at the very sort of start of my career.
There's lots that we've talked about NDAs before. Because I'm so new, there's lots that I can't talk about, but I had a really great time recording one of the Far Cry video games. That was unbelievably cool because, like we've discussed before, they go, okay, shot in the back of the head, stabbed with your mouth covered. Like, you're stabbed but you're sitting on a chair. Like, the most specific. I know that's really intense to think about, but again, like things like the creativity that's involved and the specificity, because the people behind it who are making it want it to be real and want it to be as as carefully plotted out and carried out as it was imagined. So being in a room by myself screaming for 5 hours was a highlight.
I could go on, but yeah, just jump in there because I have another one. But, oh, okay. Y'all want to hear it? Yeah. Okay, 21 Jump Street.
Oh, yeah!
That was filmed in Vancouver for several episodes. I was lucky enough to get the second to last episode and played a character named Shawanda, who is a girl gang leader, and Holly Robinson Pete now, had to jump into my gang. Jada Pinkett is also in that episode. She's now Jada Pinkett Smith, so it's just as her career was taking off. And it was kind of an all-girl gang episode. We're wearing big hoop earrings, we've got caps, we've got leathers. I'm the leader of that gang. I was just like floored that that's just not my world, right? I know nothing about being so bad, you're bad. And I got to be bad. And I got to be mean, and it was just totally from the street, just attitude and everything, and just intense. And sometimes playing some of those roles are just the most satisfying. It's nice to play some of the nice characters, but just playing ones where you get to have attitude, which is
and does everybody know Goosebumps? It's an old show. That was one of my favorite. I played this crazy crow woman who was kind of a witch, who she'd flutter in and she'd flutter out. She did all kinds of magic with this thing, and she was this crazy one. That was me, yeah. I had a black wig on, it takes two with the Olsen twins. Okay, I've just got to say, when I did that movie, I played Fanny Buttkiss in that. Who's the
I am freaking out. Like, that movie is everything, and I can't look at you right now. I'm so...
slightly faster.
Well, I never look the same though, so you wouldn't recognize me. If you look though and you listen to my voice in different movies or different television series, you'll go, oh God, yeah. Like I was getting 65-year-old women when I was 20, right?
Y'all need to see this movie if you haven't seen it. It's everything.
Oh, there's so many.
You didn't know this.
Yeah, Black Harbor. I did an episode where I played a guest lead where they flew me in from New York supposedly in a helicopter, and I'm scared of helicopters, and I had to be all cool and nasty, this crazy woman from New York, and they threw me into the ocean. So I had to be soaked and come out of the ocean and do a monologue, like you said. I was drenched from head to toe, carrying, I'm not even kidding you, a 50-pound bottle of champagne. It is the craziest thing I've ever had to do. I was like, I'm freezing to try to do this monologue. And I'd be like, I just flew on a helicopter, I've already peed my pants once, and now I'm soaking wet. Oh my Lord, it was incredible. If you get a chance to look at that. Oh, it's insane what we do. Insane. And we do it. Do it.
Somebody might have a question.
Stop us!
You gotta stop us because we could go on. As I'm sitting here going, oh my God, I got another one. Okay, this one you guys can look up with Andrea Libman was in this, and she came in with a chorus of maybe, I should ask her how old she was when she came in and did that. 10, 12, 13, 14. Okay, I have to find out. But if you watch Madeline, it's a French cartoon, and if you watch the episode where she goes to Africa, she goes on a safari, I played the teacher, and there's a whole chorus of girls, there's a big song in the show which I had to sing, and Madeline was Andrea and a whole bunch of other voice actresses were a part of the chorus. And this was like 3, 4, 5-part harmonies with these lovely little voices that came in to sing. And I sing the title song, Jambo Africa. And they all had to watch as I struggled to get this huge belt and get that out and sing some songs in, a dialect. Anyway, it's kind of interesting. There you go.
All right, so I got a couple quick questions. One for everyone. You've all sort of touched on it, but voicing, acting in video games. Lauren and Ellie have touched on it as well. If anyone else has done any voice acting in any other video games, the process difference and the kind of days, how they're different, are they, do you come back more often, do you not, is it all one go, etc. And the second question is for Lauren. because you mentioned you were all very new to this, and how did you start into all this? What was your first role, essentially?
Believe it or not, Silverstream was my first booking, my first character, so that was a big old win. So happy surprise. Similarly to, I think, all of us, I have a theater background, and that really helped me go to the level that My Little Pony requires. And I say that because one of the pieces of advice I was given right off the hop was go big or go home, but go big so that, and learn how to pare back. And theater really helped me kind of break into that. And I guess step one was just getting an agent. And again, that was through theater. I was doing a musical in Vancouver, and my voice agent came to see it. And then we started a relationship, and she's been going to bat for me ever since. So that's a big part of it. But also, like I mentioned earlier, just asking questions and having guidance and practicing and watching cartoons and understanding that not all cartoons are the same and they're not all geared for the same age group, and starting to develop an awareness of that and a sensitivity to that. And then your question was about video games. Did you have a specific question about how it works, or?
Other video games you've voice acted in, how the days are different.
Oh yeah.
Are there more, is the process getting into them more difficult, less difficult? Kind of deal with that.
In my experience, there was a couple sessions, and they, I don't know if this is typical of all video games, so correct me if I'm wrong, but different types of sessions. So one was specifically geared towards narration, like this is where we're building the story. And then another session would be, this is simply for walla or sounds, and then another session of this is for like the deaths that I was talking about earlier. So having them, because I think the writing works like that, like the stages of the writing. So sometimes things aren't available yet, scripts aren't completed, so they'll record what they have. Because similarly, there's so many people working on this thing, and things come at different times. So that's what I really like about it, because you can go away, think about it, and you're still coming into it, but it's the same thing. It's not another episode, it's the same world, just getting more and more fleshed out.
With my experience with the gaming, I haven't done that many, but I think I might have done the same one. Did you see? Oh yeah, I think I did that one too, yeah. But you record by yourself, and you just got your action lines, your lines, and you kind of try to look at what this person, how the player is interacting with you, but it's a lot of just talking to the player, basically. Yeah, and then the dying is like awful. But they're actually short session. Yeah, you die so many different ways. But they're really short sessions. Wasn't it like an hour or like an hour and a half? But I was more tired from that than doing a 4-hour My Little Pony, because they're just recording you. But My Little Pony, it goes back and forth with different people. You get little breaks. So I've had doing voices for games is really hard. Yeah.
I just recorded, what's today? I don't even know what day it is. I flew in from Vancouver. I recorded a new game for Ubisoft, and NDA, of course, signed for that, but a great character. She's a Vine. She's centuries old. She's another one of those. But she's wicked and whatever. And I actually was cast because the person who they had originally cast, they went into 7 hours. It was supposed to be a 4-hour record for that day to capture that, I want to say episode, it's a part of the game. And they couldn't get what they wanted. So they said, can you come in and do this? And I went, yeah. And I did it in an hour because I was coming here. So that, and you're like, literally, I didn't die, thank God, because that's what takes forever and blows your voice out. But I was realizing you're narrating, so you're going, am I talking to the people who are gaming? Because it's not always you're talking. You'll have responses that'll keep you connected in the game with the players, but there's all different plays that they can choose. And like, I'm not even a gamer myself, and it's also confusing. Thank God the writer was there, because I was like, who am I talking to right now? What am I talking about? And there are all these futuristic, wild things in a weird language that is like all these, like, obviously the gamers know what's going on, but I'm like Ubisoft for me is so detailed and so huge, and the technology for this game, I might give it away, I'm not supposed to say, but you can put the spaceship on the I don't even look at me. That's how I don't know what I'm talking about. Do you know what I'm talking about? The remote thing that you're supposed to, you put the spaceship in it with the characters in it. Like it's new technology for gaming, so it's, I probably just got in trouble, but it's the most insane thing that I've ever seen. It's so, gaming now is off the charts, I think. I don't know, right? Totally cool. I wish I could do it. I can't. I've tried. I can't make it happen. I'm dead.
Yeah, a whole lot goes on when I'm trying to pretend like I'm gaming. My kids are better at it than I am. I did one, I do mostly for voice work, prelay and cartoons and sometimes for TV ads or radio ads, so I do those kind of campaigns a lot of the time. And one of the gaming ones that I did, it was vocally tiring. Fun, really fun, but a whole lot of sweat, a whole lot of oxygen, and a lot of vocal energy was required, which is what Kyle was saying. I was more tired by the time I finished because I was on a Sidhu or something, and I was showing off on a Sidhu, and I had to go, woohoo, look now, I think it was a Jamaican Sidhu or something, I don't know. But I was like, look, backhander, woo, ah! How many different ways can you say that line and then fall? And, you know, fall like on your face, and fall back, and then fall like you're continuing to fall, and you're drowning, you know, like, I'm here, you know, like, do that again, please, and not so big, it's like, so it's a workout, for sure.
I think we got a couple more, time for a couple more questions. Oh, 10, okay.
This is my first Brony convention, and I don't know if you guys have been asked. With all of the mythological creatures in the mythos of Milo Pony, what new mythological creatures would you like to see come to the show yourself? Or if you had a chance to voice one of the already occurring characters, what would you like to voice?
I'd like to see a liger, a lion tiger. A liger.
Ooh, that's hard. I'd want some kind of dragon-related yeti. A dragon-related yeti, there you go. That comes out of stone, like some kind of stone. Sasquatch. A Sasquatch dragon. Something like that. Something dragon-related.
I would maybe want to do like a goat or something. Something a bit edgier. Because Silverstream is... Goats are really edgy, but she's, you know... They're a goat or a donkey or a yak. I really like, you know, playing around with yak stuff. That sounded weird, and I didn't mean that at all. Gonna take that back.
I don't know. I can't think. I think. You know, what about some of the creatures that are in the forest where Zecora lives? There's got to be. There's got to be something. Well, there's timberwolves, yeah. You know that we haven't explored them enough. Yes. So, would love to see some of those guys come to life and maybe see some more episodes on them. Sure. Or voice one.
Gargoyle. Ooh. Who said that? That's good. Gargoyle. Yeah. Is Terry here?
Hello, it's me again, Chris. And now I got a question, two really short questions here. Now, the first one's for Kyle. You said you could shape-shift into anything, but what was the first thing you shape-shifted into? and as for the rest of you, if you could shape-shift, what would you shape-shift into?
Sorry, what was the second question? I was thinking about the first.
It was, if the others could shape-shift, what would they shape-shift into?
Okay. Yeah, for me, I was watching some Netflix, and I was thinking about thorax, and then I was really hungry, and I was thinking, really hard about a sandwich. Specifically, it was a panini. And then I was a panini.
Did you take pictures?
Well, when you're a panini, you have no arms.
But the lettuce could have taken a picture.
You can't take a picture when you're a panini.
Oh, come on. Bread.
Okay, what would other people turn into?
Dragonfly.
I was looking at my cat the other day. And like sometimes people are like, what animal would you be? And I was looking at my cat and I was like, you know, looking at my phone or whatever, and I'm like, man, my cat is so useless and has like constantly licking himself with hair. And I'm like, I would never want to be a cat. I want something with thumbs and fingers.
They have thumbs. What kind of cat do you have?
Wait, what? He's like, he gets to a door and he's like, help me.
Well, there's,
like,
you know,
scratches
they're cats. He's playing you. I need help. Help me fix me.
At night, sometimes I see him on my computer.
Right? Oh, he's tweeting. Don't think he's not.
What about Capper?
What?
His thumbs? Capper has thumbs?
There you go. So does Tom.
I think dolphin came to mind first. I don't know why. Maybe it's the whole used to be a sea pony thing. Yeah, lots of. That's not bad. It's in me. It's happening.
How did you do that again? I want to hear that again.
You know what's terrible? Animal sounds is on my resume, and only once have I been challenged. You know, you go into the room, you put your resume down for a theater or film, TV audition, and sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, animal sounds, eh? What do you got?" And that's the only one that I have. So I should probably take the plural out of there. Dolphin. Yeah.
Well, it's like they'll say she's an elephant. She's dying, but she's singing a lullaby, and you go, "What does a dying elephant sound like?" And who emits those sounds? It's not going to be pretty.
Sounds like my stomach.
It's just like it's got to be huge, and it's got to be. It's weird, right? Singing.
You know, I was recording, I think it was Minecraft. You know you're in a room of actors when they say, can anyone do the sound of a chicken? And the whole room turns into chicken.
Okay, this is the truth. I auditioned in Toronto. Do you know McDonald's? Da-da-da-da-da. I'm loving it, right? They wanted, so it was a farmer. I don't know if you guys saw this spot. Totally. The chicken, so there's a cow, a chicken, this is live, it's a commercial for McDonald's with a farmer, and you had to audition as the chicken boy. So it was all about, and they were going, no, it needs to sound more real. You're like, I'm a chicken trying to say the McDonald's, are you insane? And that is a real story. The chicken had to go da-da-da-da-da, but in like, that was the craziest thing I've ever done in my life. Yeah. I just thought of it when you said chicken.
That's amazing.
Yes. Oh, what else? I've sweat more in my life. I've never been more stressed in my life because they kept going a little bit higher on the second one. You're like, it was crazy. Oh, and the commercial was terrible. Just you're like, what's happening? Like, what's the chicken doing? And that's just crazy. Yeah, we humiliate ourselves a lot.
Did you hear what I said? I said, we humiliate ourselves a lot. But I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean it's like, okay, really? The direction sometimes that comes, you're like, can you go higher on the second part? Like, really?
It's a chicken. I'm not a person. I'm trying.
But we love what we do. We love what we do. We love what we do. So we have to just take it and try to give them, in every instance, what they want. And yes, we've all shifted, changed into, you name it. You know what would be really cool, which I don't think they've done 100%. I think it's mostly because of all the non-disclosures and stuff, would be to have a camera crew in there from start to finish. It's been requested and thought on before. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but if it were to happen, the things that you would see with us trying to get whatever the description is, right? Like if I said right now, okay, I want you to fall out of that tree and then, you know, choke when you land, okay? And line 101, and go. Okay, that was great. Can you shorten that up again, please? Just shorten it up. And remember, she's 5 years old, so you sounded a little old. So try that again. Okay, now you're 5 years old, and okay, Kyle. Put the button on it because that's what a 5-year-old would probably do. You're 10 years old and you gotta fall out of that tree. Watch what his body has to do to get there. It's a big, big, big tree. And you're falling.
You would see, you would see people doing yoga. Like, I feel like Shannon Chen is always doing yoga at some point. Like, just the things, all the things, because we get to hang out. It's so nice.
And there you have it. So I think that probably brings us to the end of our session, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Thank you so much.